Leigh here in Future Intro mid-training camp. Give Sport and Icons a follow.
Wow, what a fight. What a finish. All 12 rounds. This was a fight that, in my opinion, right up to round number 12, Michael Conlan was winning this fight quite comfortably. But of course, we're going to talk about the end of round number 11 before we get into the 12. So round number 1, Michael Conlan quite clearly feels the power of Leigh Wood. Leigh Wood is quite clearly just looking for that one punch. I think Leigh Wood knows he ain't going to outbox him. So maybe just tire him down, let him know that he's there, make Michael Conlan think twice about engaging with him. Didn't quite work because Michael Conlan soon found his feet, soon found his range, and from that southpaw stance, very, very dangerous. And at times, he was landing that left at will. And I mean to the body. And he kept going to the body, to the body, to the body. Leigh Wood drops his elbows a little bit. Michael Conlan glances to the body. Leigh Wood thinks he's going to go down to the body, but he lands up top. And Leigh Wood goes down heavy, hard at the end of round number 1. And to be honest, I'm surprised that he got up for it. But it was right on the bell. Was it a split second before or a split second after the bell? I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it was a knockdown. And he didn't look too good in round number 2. Leigh Wood looked absolutely terrible. He looked like he was about to get put out of there. Because again, I don't know what it was. And it wasn't just in round number 1 or round number 2. It was literally right the way through the fight. Michael Conlan could land that big power punch of that left hand at will. It's almost like Leigh Wood forgot that he's fighting the southpaw. He forgot to keep his right hand up. He keep his right side up. Protect the body, protect the head from the big shots, because Michael Conlan was landing some absolute doozies. And I'm quite surprised that Leigh Wood took him. And at times, Leigh Wood was very, very stationary in that fight. He was on the line, not much, if any, head movement really. And it's almost like he was just waiting to counter-punch Michael Conlan and then set off on a flurry and maybe land one through. And it wasn't really working. At any point in the fight, it just wasn't working. And I'm thinking, so is this really your tactics? You better hope and pray that Michael Conlan starts to tire as the fight goes on, and you don't. So maybe one of these punches is going to land through, because I had Michael Conlan winning this fight quite comfortably. I really did. In fact, the first round I gave Leigh Wood was round number 4. And at this point, he's already way behind anyway, obviously because of round number 1 with a knockdown. Then, of course, he's lost the next 2 rounds. But round number 4, I thought that he came back. He managed to find his feet, bit of a spring in his step again. But again, he wasn't doing too much, Leigh Wood. He wasn't. But the body shots were certainly having an effect on him. As I said, the left, the power punch from Michael Conlan was landing at will. It really was. And it continued through pretty much the rest of the fight. Don't get me wrong, Leigh Wood had big moments in this fight, and I think it was round number 7 and round number 9, something like that I gave Leigh Wood. Again, I don't have an actual scorecard where I was writing things down. This is just in my mind. So this is why I was having Leigh Wood very, very far behind. And of course, we get into rounds 9 and 10 and 11. And again, Leigh Wood, he just looks to be trying to pin Michael Conlan onto the ropes and land a cluster of punches, throw punches in bunches. But even then, Michael Conlan was managing to slip them and counter backwards. But Leigh Wood was doing okay, for sure. And to be honest with you, when I was obviously watching the fight live in round number 11, again, at the very end of the round, quite reminiscent of round number 1, a punch gets through. It's like a left hook from Leigh Wood. Again, Leigh Wood, he's an orthodox fighter, but at times he would switch to southpaw. But he caught Michael Conlan with a left hook. Now, Michael Conlan, he said it was a slip. Adam Booth is shouting at the referee saying it was a slip, but the referee gave it a count. Again, it was literally at the very, very end of round number 11. And I remember I'm looking at the replay thinking, is it a punch or is it a slip? Is it a combination of both? I wasn't too sure. But then round number 12, suddenly this very mobile, very confident Michael Conlan just didn't come out for round number 12. He didn't look like he'd done in the previous 11 rounds. He didn't. So I'm thinking, okay, so maybe it was actually a legitimate punch and he was still feeling the effects of it. And again, Leigh Wood was doing what he's been doing all fight, trying to pin him on the ropes and then throw a cluster of punches. And this time, it worked. One punch got through. Michael Conlan, his body just slouched, so quite clearly he was out on his feet. And then Then, of course, he got followed up and he fell through the ropes backwards. And it looked like he landed on his head on the outside of the ring. The referee waved it up. It was an absolutely devastating, brutal knockout. And I hope Michael Conlan is going to be okay. I really do. I haven't hung around for the post-fight interviews or anything like that. So I don't know. The last thing I saw was Michael Conlan slouching, his body going through the ropes and his legs following him afterwards. So I hope that he's okay. But it's obviously, listen, it's going to be very, very devastating for Michael Conlan, considering that he's done all that work in that fight. And in the very, very last seconds of round number 11, it just come undone. And then obviously about halfway through round 12, I think it was, devastation. But once he gets over it, of course, he's going to be embarrassed. He's going to be disappointed. He's going to be down and all that kind of thing. Hopefully he looks back and realizes and knows and gets the confidence back. He belongs on that level. Leigh Wood ain't no slouch. I mean, I will say, though, if I'm going to critique Michael Conlan because he didn't really put a foot wrong in this fight too much, is the fact that he didn't really press him. Because Leigh Wood was there in front of him, stationary. It's almost like a Leigh Wood at times would throw punches and then just stand there and admire his work and then just get countered. So I do feel Mark Conlan, he could have thrown more power punches and probably could have and maybe should have got Leigh Wood out of there. But either way, devastating, absolutely devastating punch right at the very, very end. I mean, that is a get out of jail free card for Leigh Wood. He relied on the power and it worked out for him. Very nearly didn't. Very nearly didn't. So anyway, congratulations to Leigh Wood. Excellent knockout. That's the only way we could possibly put it. I hope Michael Conlan is going to be okay. The reign of Ben Davison continues. The train of his fighters just not losing. But he very, very nearly did. He very nearly did. Again, this was Leigh Wood in front of his hometown fans at Nottingham. But to be honest, it felt like the Belfast and Irish came out for Michael Conlan. It really did. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this particular fight. Fantastic fight. Congratulations to Leigh Wood. I said commiserations to Michael Conlan. I'm sure Jamie is going to help him through all of this. But great fight and absolutely brutal knockout. That's going to be one of those knockouts, unfortunately for Michael, that people are going to watch over and over and over again. Anyway, drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up. And of course, make sure you are subscribed. Very, very important. Do it right now. And I'll catch you on the next video.